I'll bring the wine, you bring the glasses. What a great time we'll have while it lasts us. I can't wait to toast with you, so call me a cab.
Hi, I'm JoAnne, and this is Call Me a Cab, a show about tasting wine without intimidation. Today on the show, we'll be trying 3 wines and pairing them with food based on suggestions from the internet. We also have a special guest, Sara Banerjee, who you may know from Criminal Minds, Passions, and the upcoming Mr. Harris. So without any further ado, let's get started. And here's Sara. So how are you, and how have you been?
I'm really well, Jo. How are you?
Good. I think it's been about 9-10 years since we've seen each other.
So we were on the playground.
Physically, yeah. Because we're very young still. But we know each other from fitness.
The fitness world. That's how we met.
Yeah. And are you still in that world? Because at the time I know you were doing a degree for
a doctorate in physical therapy. Yeah, so I am kind of toggling between 2 worlds. It's weird, like my acting and my performing has kind of led to a lot of stuff on Fitbit and stuff, like platforms. So I kind of mesh the 2 worlds. So, and
has it come up in roles for you? Like, we need somebody who knows, like, human body parts.
Lots of kids shows, like kids science-y, like we need a host, like, you know, things like that. Yeah, and then also it's been coming up a lot of like, we need someone physically fit for like stage combat and stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then there are times where like I'll get callbacks and like, does she have any medical experience? If it's like a procedural.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, well, I know all the jargon because I had to go through that
world.
Situation. Yeah. So,
I think that's so cool. And I think anything that gives you extra skills in this acting world, is you're just that much farther ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll talk lots about acting, but we're going to also talk a lot about wine. We're going to start off with the Gloria Ferrer Sonoma Brut. And you said you are a champagne girl, which for some reason I knew. I'm like even though I don't know that we've drank together.
No, I don't think we have.
I don't think we have, but I'm like, something tells me. Did you ever do the waiting tables thing or any of that stuff?
No.
Lucky girl.
I would get fired.
This was one of the scariest things for me, waiting tables, was opening champagne on New Year's, because I didn't come from a world of drinking it before I ever worked in a restaurant. So I would open it and be terrified that it was going to, shoot off and hit somebody. And, it did once. Once.
Oh, were they already drunk? It was New Year's.
No, it was a little man who was sitting at a table.
Oh,
it didn't hit him directly. It went up in the air and came back down. Sometimes I think it's karma. Sometimes I think I'm just bad at opening stuff. But I'm like, you're the one it hit, though.
Can I tell you what? Oh, I interrupted that. I'm sorry. Can we do a take 2? We need another bottle. I was going to tell you, I learned from bougie friends of mine.
Oh, yes. Oh, the pop.
The pop is not supposed to, you're supposed to, like a little.
And that is true for sure in the bougie world. And if you're doing fine dining, they would never do that.
Yeah, I like the sound.
I like the sound. I like the sound.
Fine dining. Can I curse?
Yes, of course you can.
Fine dining, but.
The thing I've realized is the funnest part of champagne to me is that sound. Well, let's give this a pour and then we'll talk some more about champagne. So here we go. So we are going to give this a try. Now, have you ever gone wine tasting or any of that good stuff?
I have.
They always look at it. This is like a very pale, grayish yellow as far as I can see.
Interesting.
So now when you smell it, try to smell like 3 different things, and it might be fruits and it might be...
Like notes.
Yeah, notes, different notes. And so tell me if you smell anything, and I won't lead you. I'll let you tell me what you smell.
Pear?
Mm-hmm, I smell that.
Hair?
Pear.
I smell kind of like a whetstone kind of thing, too.
The hell, Jo?
Don't you ever...
It might be the placebo effect, but now I smell it too.
And I try not to do the placebo effect because I know on the show that's happened where people are like, anything I say, they're like, yeah, I smell that, yeah.
Could we just get to the drinking?
We 100% should. Yeah, we'll give it a taste.
All I got was pear. We got one
pear,
note
and I got a little in a whetstone. So a smashed pear on a whetstone.
It's a good facial.
Oh, that does sound like it might be something you would do. All right, cheers.
All right, let's try this.
Well, I like that just fine. It's more tart than pear, I think, when you taste it.
Yeah, the after. Mm-hmm. What's it called? When you swallow it and then there's like an after. The aftertaste?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a taste that you're tasting after, so it's the aftertaste. I taste it's almost more like apple-y when I'm tasting it.
Yeah, actually, like a tart. Mm-hmm. Should we read the label and see what the actual is?
And here's another fun thing about getting older. I can't read any of that.
Wait, I'm going to put it really close to, I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. Oh, schnikes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. You called it on the green apple.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Black cherry.
Oh, I didn't taste that.
Citrus. I think
sort of.
I think this is your whetstone, Jo. Biscuit. I'm going to soggy biscuit, a whetstone. a Wassa cracker. I feel like they're all in the same family.
All right.
Yeah, that's close.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
And the cherries was a funny one because I did not taste that, but I'm going to taste it again and see if I do taste anything like cherries.
I tasted this
'Cause I
much
do
cherry.
like cherries. But the truth is there's only grapes in it. Like all those flavors we're tasting are just our brain tasting them. There is no apple or cherry or anything like that in here.
How do they get those notes? Just the way it ferments, then they test it
It's
and they...
how long the grapes have been growing, what time of year they picked, how the soil and the weather was that year, and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of things that can get into the flavors just from the environment themselves and the types of grapes they are. And wine grapes are so different than like these grapes. You could still technically make wine out of these. It's just going to be a very different beast.
Can you eat
The
Oh,
grapes?
yeah, of course you can. My mom did this at the vineyard once. Yeah, you can.
And it's going to be a different flavor than, like, these are always like sugary, grapey, and that's fine. And those ones you can eat too. And I think once you know what you're picking and growing, you know how it's supposed to taste.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is, I always go on the internet and I say, hey, internet, what's going to go with this? And somewhere along the line, and it might have been from the Gloria Ferrara website, it said buttered croissants. I went to a French bakery here in town called Lou the French on the Block. And the guy's actually French, and he like makes this stuff daily, well, not daily because he's only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in Toluca Lake. And I'm so excited to try these.
And you've never had them before?
I have had other things from there, but I haven't had the croissants, and I love a good croissant. So we're gonna take a little bite of a croissant and then taste the wine and see if it does anything to the wine, if it pairs well, if it changes the flavor at all.
Okay.
So go ahead and grab yourself a little big old chunk of
I'm gonna
slice.
do the smaller one.
Yep. Oh my God.
All right, let's try. This looks fabulous.
Oh my God, it smells so buttery.
It does smell really buttery.
You're basically pairing butter with champagne.
Oh, really good.
I knew it would be. Oh my God.
It doesn't need extra butter. It's got like that salt on it. It's like
Like it's already perfect. God, Lou, good Lord.
that was great.
That was good.
Now, when you wine taste, do you swallow the solid completely? Do you
mean
let it like marinate in your mouth a little bit, like
mean the
the
food?
remnants? Yeah.
I do a thing where I like try to let it touch every part of my tongue.
Oh, I'm gonna try this.
So it's
okay.
like I have a food map going in there, and then when the wine goes, I try to do the same thing. So if it,
hits
sets
like
off
anything.
anything.
Okay.
I'm curious. I've already had a sip, so I'm curious what you think. Thoughts on the pairing?
I like the pairing.
I do too.
It,
I do too.
It took some of that extra tart when we drank it without. It like balanced
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That is good. Like it's because like apple pie, like that would make sense.
Oh,
like a
shit,
buttery,
yeah.
crusty. That's the vibe I'm getting. Is like a less sweet apple pie.
Yeah. That was good.
not bad at all. That's
was
delicious
good.
and amazing, and I would absolutely pair this. And this is one of the things too. I've heard that fried foods and champagne go well together. So it's like all of your guilty pleasure foods, like fried chicken, French fries, popcorn, anything that's like a hot buttered,
Salty
salty,
situation.
yeah, crispy.
So champagne and a savory, you're saying.
All right, well, I think that was a success, and I think we should move on to the next wine.
Let's do it.
All right, now before we get into this next one, I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Do you remember the first time you ever drank wine or drank at all?
The first time I had alcohol, I was like 3, and like my parents were having a party and they left like beers on the dining table and like left me unsupervised. Hi, you know, they're and whatever they're doing. I think it was like a Mickey's or a Coors Light. It was
my
something
God.
dirty.
Oh yeah, what did you think of that as a kid?
I don't know. I drank the whole thing. Apparently, I was drunk, like stumbling around, and my parents figured out like I drank this wine. Like I remember beer tasting like dirty, just it was dirty piss.
Yeah.
Like, but my dad drank it and
So you
mowed the
wanted to
lawn,
drink it,
so it was
yeah.
cool. I was gonna do yard work with my dad, like drinking dirty beer.
Absolutely, most people are more productive when they have beer. So, well, it's funny because my first beer was definitely like teenage years, probably like that 13-ish age.
Yeah.
But I didn't care about how it tastes. I was so happy to be like a 13-year-old that could like
Have
drink
a beer.
And now I love beer.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I'm not a huge beer drinker, but if that's what I will go towards.
You're like, if this is what you're pouring.
Then that's great. Also, it's selfishly, and we live in LA. It's calories.
Oh, 100%.
Like honestly,
We 100% have had the Michelob Ultras in the fridge, not because, oh my God, these are so delicious, but like, hey, I can have a beer.
and it's
And
not,
I'm in for like 60 calories.
Yeah.
What's your status on rosé? Are you a rosé drinker?
I'm a rosé drinker.
I love rosé.
I love rosé. I love a sparkling rosé because that's the best of both worlds for me, right?
yeah.
I'm like the carbonation, but no, I love rosé. It's actually my go-to for like a lunch fair or
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So this one, we've tried a Pinot Noir from this company before. This is a 2018 Rainstorm Pinot Noir Rosé. So same grape, but instead of a red wine, it's a pink wine. And I'm super excited because I usually like Pinot Noir rosés. I usually like rosés, and they can make rosés out of a lot of different grapes. And so I'm excited to try this. So let's give it a whirl.
All right. Now, can I ask why you chose this particular glass?
Rosé wines are akin to white wines, and they're always in a bit of a smaller white wine glass. And the idea is just, it's taking all the surface area and the smells, and it's just kind of aiming them at your nose. So you know when people are putting their whole nose in, they're really like getting a smell for what's in there.
Are you supposed to do that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it smells so good. All right, you smell anything?
Okay, but I smell like raspberries or currants or something.
See, I wouldn't be able to pick a currant out of a crowd, but
I'm like kind of like almonds or walnuts or something.
Oh, almonds is interesting, isn't that? I can smell that a little bit, like that almond extract kind of smell.
Like there's an almondy, walnutty situation, like a nutty thing.
And ever since you said raspberry, it's kind of jamming my brain because I thought I smelled watermelon, and then you said raspberry, and now I'm trying to like see if I can smell the watermelon again.
Like a Jolly
Rancher?
Rancher?
Something salty, yeah, like a Jolly Rancher.
I can smell that.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna taste this one. Oh, here, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm curious because I want to know if you like this.
It's fine, but it wouldn't be my first choice.
Okay. And do you tend towards the sweeter?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tend towards this.
Yeah.
Like this, like kind of savory. It's almost salty.
This is almost Chardonnay
Oh, I can see that.
to me. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
It's got that a little bit tart, a little bit salty, frankly.
Yeah.
And fruit. It's almost like if you put salt on fruit.
Yeah, I hate that. My mom loves that.
Okay, see, and I'm that person. So right now, this is fine for me. Gouda is what's meant to pair with the rosé. This is our Gouda. Go ahead and grab yourself a little stick or something.
It's sample time at Costco.
Yep.
I like this. Of course, I like the cheese.
But it is funny because that's more salty and savory. So that's different than
I have
like
a
your
feeling
normal
it's going to
palate.
change this for me. I can tell just by the way it's coating my palate.
This is pretty good.
Oh, really
This is
good.
really
Do you know
fancy.
who this is by?
It's a group of nuns in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Stop
that do nothing but
it.
make cheese.
And
you have
pray to the Lord.
And pray to the Lord and bless the cheese. And bless this cheese. It's really expensive, but then what they do with it.
Pray to Jesus Christ.
That was really good. I like dad jokes.
I love dad jokes. It's a shame we don't have kids because we also do some really embarrassing parent dancing. All right, let's try this.
Let's try it. I totally wouldn't kick it out of bed now.
Interesting. Now, what did it change for you?
It took that like Chardonnay kind of taste out of it for me. I don't like something that tastes almost overly acidic. Mm-hmm. And
The acid dropped, and it's smoother.
it's smoother. I could do this with this.
See?
And I would be fine with
Thanks,
that.
Internet. You were right. This is the second bottle I've had from these guys, and I like them.
This is opening up, by the way,
I love
super
it.
nicely. Do a second sip and tell me if I'm just like making shit up or if that's...
No, it's really good. It is getting better. I already liked it. I liked it right out of the bottle. I liked it with the pairing, and I'm liking it more and more. I mean, it's just really good. Now, I have a question for you. Do you normally drink your wine with food, or you just drink? And it's probably a calorie thing more than a social thing.
I hardly ever drink to drink because I'm just not that...
That's a good quality to have about yourself.
But it's because I'm a lightweight.
No shame in that. There's definitely that kind of person that's out there that's like, I can drink you under the table. Especially like little women sometimes feel like I got to prove myself.
I had that in my 20s.
Yeah.
But the hangover's too painful for me. Unless
Oh,
it's
and
like,
how much worse is the hangover the older we get? Whew.
we can cut that. I had that in my 20s. That means I still have it now, guys.
I guess after all that, it's time to move on. All right, so the next one is the 2019 Avivo Sangiovese. This is another grape. There's something like 1,500 different grape varietals. Sangiovese is like the most popular red grape in Italy, and these guys decided to start growing that in California, which is not a very common grape to be grown in California. So I'm very curious to try this one
Who's the
out.
vineyard?
It's called Avivo,
Where is it?
and they're in Lodi,
Oh, Lodi.
California.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Now I have a question for you because I'm opening this right now.
Yes.
What kind of wine opener do you use when you are opening your wines?
I have the thing that
That looks like a person doing
Yeah.
exercise. I always think it looks like somebody working out in the 50s.
Why? What's
like,
Yes, that's what I have. What's the difference?
personal preference. This is what waiters use. I don't know why, other than it's small and it fits in a apron. The double-hinged wine key is my favorite, and I prefer this
Tell me why.
over the one with. So I don't know if you noticed when I was opening it, like you can get kind of a starter push. But yeah, I mean, to me, this This is all I need is that and the wine. Have you ever had Sangiovese?
I have.
Okay, we're about to have some more.
I'm excited.
I love that sound. Do you tend to do red wines or no?
I do.
Okay, I do too.
Are we looking at stems like we watched Sideways?
So it used to be the legs. I learned a long time ago.
Yeah, tell me.
It's just the alcohol content. It used to be like, oh, and if the legs fall down in this way, it's a balanced wine, and it was everybody was
so
about
not
it.
a thing?
No,
It's bullshit.
Most everybody in the wine world is like legs, whatever. They're a little thicker if it's like higher in alcohol, a little thinner if it's lower in alcohol. But it's less about anything about the actual wine.
I like this smell already.
Okay, and what do you smell?
Currants and like dark, like chocolate.
All the
cacao.
dark berries. I can smell the chocolate, like a raspberry chocolate something.
Like something that's not like almost like an espresso-y kind of smell
You're
too.
saying all good words.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. It feels rich. It smells rich.
I like that. This also seems like just based on smell, it would open up nicely.
And a smidge of like leather maybe. It is smelling like high on the alcohol, like I can smell that. And one of the things I learned, because of course you chill your wines when you're storing them, but a somm that I was recently watching on YouTube said that we tend to chill our reds and then we want them room temperature. But room temperature back in the day when they said
chill?
room temperature was like 65 degrees. Now room temperature is closer to 75 degrees. So he said chill them while you're storing them, but take them out about 30 minutes before you want to drink
That's what
them.
I've heard too.
Yeah, and it changes the actual taste of it because on the reds in particular, like when people will hold their glass like this or like this, and they're like, don't do that because it warms it up.
Yeah.
And I'll do it sometimes on purpose to warm it up. But they're saying you want a little bit of the chill on the red because it takes away that high alcohol acidity. And so you do want it a little chilled. And yeah, so this was chilled, but it's been, here with us for a minute, maybe a little longer than half an hour. Okay, let's give it a try. I find it so smooth. It is so smooth, I think. I don't know if you think this.
It is smooth, but I don't like the acidic aftertaste. And maybe, again, it needs to be paired.
And when you take it in your mouth, are you letting it go all over your tongue or
try it
just
again.
straight down the gullet? Because that's kind of what I tend to do.
Down the gullet.
I'm going to do the all over the tongue thing. I fear it a little because the acidity really peaks when I let it go to the sides of my tongue. Yeah, it's way more acidic that way.
Oh, I do let it go through the sides of my tongue.
Yeah, it's way more acidic that way.
It's just very acidic.
For me, I like the flavor. It's none of the flavors we just said that we smelled
No.
at all.
No.
Like it's almost like red meat flavored.
Yeah.
Like it's got that kind of...
Look, if I had a steak with this,
Yeah,
It's fine.
perfect.
It's great.
I'm okay with this as is. Like as a just sitting here drinking wine, I would do this. For you, it's too acidic.
I would not.
So what this said would pair, there were a lot of things that said it would pair this, and this is one thing that was good about it. They're like, Sangiovese pairs with everything. And if you think about Italians, there's such an eating culture
Yes.
that it's like they want wines that pair with as much as possible. So
Yes.
it was a lot of salty things, a lot of tomato-based things, a lot of savory things. So we went with pesto. So we've just got your
I love
basic basil
pesto.
pesto. I know, I'm super excited. And we've got some naan here. And they also said olives. So olives are our backup taste test thing.
Okay.
And you kind of almost grabbed an olive before because your instincts were there.
Yeah.
And so that might be good. I have not successfully paired an olive with anything on this show. So
Should we do it first?
I would say let's go with the pesto first. Since
Okay, go
that was
ahead.
the initial, and then we'll
Do the olive?
yeah, and then we'll do the olive.
Let's see.
Let's see. So
All right, I'm gonna
let you go first.
You go first.
Ah, man. Okay.
I love pesto.
I do too. I love. There's nothing wrong with pesto to me. It's high on the garlic.
Oh, right up my alley.
So,
I love garlic, and it's a great antioxidant.
It's very good.
So, all right. You love the naan and the pesto.
I do.
Oh, I'm down for this.
It's very good. I love everything in pesto. Basil, pine nuts, Parmesan.
That's amazing. I want to know what
olive
that
oil.
is.
Yeah, very good. I'm hoping. Oh my God, fingers crossed, because that was a dramatic taste.
I think this is gonna be good after that. That change. I swear to God,
It changed it a lot.
that's insane.
What do you think it did to the taste?
It took out the acid, and it brought up the flavors of
That
like.
we talked about, those smells that we talked about.
That was a win.
That's a really amazing pair. That's
this is a win.
Now I'm a little afraid.
The olive's not going to do
They
it
also
justice.
said olives. They also and I do feel like any of those salty things. And I'm gonna try it here. Get a little Get a little,
Try the olive.
we'll try the olive. I love olives, but I usually love them in a martini. I don't eat them with anything else.
Oh, I love olives.
Black and green or just?
Both.
That tastes good after this, so I can only imagine that it's going to taste good with it. So I'll be curious what you think.
The pesto cut the wine more than this
Right.
cut the wine.
Yeah.
But it's
still good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
But it's different.
So I do feel like any of the salty savories.
Like if I had a pizza, I would like
that would be an amazing pairing for. Oh, I have goosebumps. I literally just got goosebumps from that. But yeah,
Yeah, if I had a
that was
pizza.
fantastic. Okay, so of all of the things we've had today, we had the champagne,
Yeah.
we had the sparkling white, the rosé, and the Sangiovese. What was your favorite?
the champagne, the sparkling white.
All right, we're going to toast, and we're going to give you a little bit more of the sparkling white.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're back. You decided to toast for your final toast with the champagne, and I just went for the red because I was feeling it. So I'm gonna toast to you. It's really nice to be apart for so long, and I feel like no beat has been missed.
No beat has been
I love you.
missed.
I love your hair.
I love you too. Thank you.
I
love your hair, although I miss the red.
I do miss the I miss the red.
If you guys don't know, JoAnne has flaming red hair.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love you, and I still follow you, and I very much like social media stalk you, and I think you're great, and I think you're doing well, and I want
you.
nothing but the best for your future. So.
Same to you. That was really sentimental after a couple of glasses of wine.
I've got it in me. All right, cheers.
Cheers. Here's to your show, bitch.
Thank you. Yeah, bitch.
And kill it.
All right, kids.
Oh.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't wait to toast with you, so call me a cab.